Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sasha if you're new here, also known as Healing Honey. And so today, you guys, when I rose, I went online right away, which was my first mistake, because I found out about some really horrific news, some things that have been happening in Iran on the other side of the world. Somebody on my news feed on Instagram posted about what's been happening over there and how the government in Iran has shut down the internet to keep these things hidden from the world and what's really been going on. And so apparently a 22-year-old woman was detained by police and mysteriously died. And they're calling it a heart attack, but an autopsy has proven that she was actually struck in the head, and that's what caused the death. So she was killed and she was murdered by the police. You guys, she was taken in for violating their morality code, which was some of her hair was exposed from her head wrap. So some hair was out, and that violated the dress code in that region of the world. She was taken in and she was killed. Well, the country is in an uproar. Both men and women are taking to the streets to protest, and like over 30 people have been killed so far just from expressing their outrage, you know. And so this is so sad. When I found out her name is Masha Amini, and it struck my heart. My name is Sasha Iman. She may have been on the other side of the world, but we are sisters, and we all on the planet are family. You guys, this is a perfect example of government abusing their power and why we shouldn't be giving away our freedom to governments that at the end of the day are just focused on controlling and oppressing people, taking away their freedom. It's very ego-based, and they try to back it with religion. But the problem with religion is that everybody sees things differently. So who are you to tell somebody else what is right and wrong? A religious standpoint, a spiritual standpoint, what you believe is very personal. So it's so dangerous to say, what I believe is what everybody has to believe or else they're wrong. And then to really try to enforce it by law. And so these women are protesting, they are rebelling against this oppressive government. They are fighting for their rights, and this is really a human rights issue. And I feel like we should all be speaking up and sending our love and prayers and spreading awareness, because by them trying to take away the internet, they obviously don't want this to go out. And the president canceled his interview with CNN, you know, and they addressed the UN with just this. It's like, it's a problem, and they cannot, especially with the internet, you can't hide things anymore. And so it's a sign of like the earth is shifting. There's more consciousness, more light coming onto the planet. Like our consciousness is raising, and we're becoming aware of what's working and what is not working on the planet. And so many times I want to tune out, but that's really not going to serve anything. I mean, protect your peace, but also it's like we have to address these things head on. Giving our power away to government, giving them reign over our entire lives, that is coming to an end. It's coming crashing down. People are no longer willing to live this way. You know, we are uprising. There's going to be a lot more things happening, all part of this timeline shift. As we're ascending, we're gonna see the climate get crazier, like problems surface, so that we can look at what we've been doing, what we've been agreeing to, and we have a decision to make on how we're gonna move forward. It's about freedom. Okay, so when we look at this, when we look at our history, we can see that it's a grab for control. It's very ego-based, and religion has a lot to do with it. It's part of the problem. Men, and I mean people, not just men, people have tried to exert their control. They've manipulated spirituality. They've manipulated divine teachings for their favor. Okay, they've favored the men, they've put them above the women for control. Although I personally believe that men should be leading, it takes two to dance. Okay, we're partners, we're equals, we're complements to one another. It's not that men are above women or women are above men. It's that we were both created because we need one another. I'm just sending my thoughts and my energy to that part of the planet right now because it needs healing. And I'm so happy to know that men are also protesting because there's been a suppression of the divine feminine. Like for so long, feminine women, just women in general, as a gender, as a collective, all across the world, in every culture, through all of the religions, we have been suppressed. We have been told and taught and conditioned that we are less than men, that we don't have a say, that we need to be controlled. And if anybody is like, what about my freedom? What about my sovereignty? God is within me. They're deemed a witch or a bitch or wild or crazy or not submissive and all of these negative connotations, you guys. But that time is coming to an end because this is about the rise of the divine feminine, and it's not about war against men. It's about justice. And so women, our role is not solely to please a man. You were not born just to be a man's helper. Yes, you can help your partner, help your man, but you are also a sovereign being. God is within you, and you have the right to express yourself and not be suppressed and not be repressed. It is insane to me that in 2022, I mean, that's why this uprising is happening there. This region is so behind. Why would people are just no longer having it? You know, you cannot tell anybody that they can't have their hair out. God made their hair, not you. You know, and they try to say it's about modesty. And I hear that very often from religious people, you know, modesty, and men have to have some self-control. Women are free to express themselves as they choose. You were born free. All people were. And sovereignty is your birthright. You don't have to ask permission to be yourself. However, how are you going to use your freedom? Like ladies especially, you know, because we have so much power, we have beauty, and we can use our beauty in the wrong way. We can use it to seduce or to manipulate, you know, and once again, when we're moving from the ego, it's a power grab. But when you come back to the heart space, when you're tapped in with your spiritual side, you recognize like you want to use your femininity to heal, to love in the right ways, spread your beauty to nurture one another, take care of one another. And so you have freedom, but how are you going to use it? That part's up to you. And men cannot control us, you know, and I feel like there's some fear there because when you're moving from the ego, everybody wants to control, but we have to learn to work together. You know, it's not a power grab, and that's the thing. The way that society is structured right now, there's a lot of toxic masculinity. It's about tapping back into the divine masculine because women do need men and men need women. And so it's not about dominance and it's not about control, you know, and I feel like religious scripture can confuse people by men taking the lead. They feel like, okay, that means I have to control my woman, I have to exert dominance, but really leading, you have to lead in love, you know, with integrity. So I'm so happy to know that men on that side of the planet are also standing with their women, you know, because we're gonna need to come together to fight the powers that be. You know, it's crazy because since the world is structured this way, women, we have forgotten about our femininity. It's been deemed as weak. And so what do you see? You see women who are like trying to act like men, be men, tapping so much into their masculine because as people, we have both energies within us. But you don't have to be a man. You know, there's so much power in being woman. And your femininity is not weakness, it's strength. There's so much beauty. And so once again, we're equal with men, but we have different roles to play. We are not men, but we still have our own power. And so it's a balancing act. We don't need to suppress. We can't be suppressed, but also we have to tap more into our feminine nature. So what does that look like? When you're tapped into your femininity, you recognize like softness is not weakness. We need softness and strength. Like we need both. Gentleness. When you're tapped in with your feminine energy, you are gentle, nurturing, loving. Think about like if you have kids, ladies, when your kid runs up and gives you like a big hug, you know how you feel in that moment, right? Just moving from your heart. And so feminine, like we're the creative, we're the mothers, we birth. If you think about it, Earth in a sense is feminine because she's constantly creating, birthing life, giving life, and that's what we are. So that's why the world's so off balance, is because it's all about the masculine and toxic masculine at that, so we have to bring back the divine energies, like divine masculine, divine feminine, and that is what is happening right now. And we're taking care of Mama Gaia. We're taking care of the earth because she matters, and she's allowing us to inhibit her. So it is our responsibility to honor her, take care of her, do what we can to reduce us using her in the wrong way, abusing her. Think about like consumption as far as the products we use, and just in any way you can, the foods that we eat, killing the animals. Like as you tap more in, you're going to recognize how we can help. It can start with the smallest things, but it all matters and it's gonna add up. We're just becoming more aware. It's what's happening, and it's happening fast. And I feel like that's why we're seeing so much chaos on the planet, because there's a tide turning, there's a shift happening. What I love about women so much is like we have this huge capacity to love, and that's why we're the healers and we're the mothers. Like that's what the planet needs the most right now, is more love. So when you take your ego out of it and you're moving from your spirit and you allow yourself to be in your softness and you practice self-care, you're creative, you tap into your passions. There is a so-called dark side to femininity as well. We're extremely intuitive, we're extremely spiritual, and we can feel things so deeply. Like we're the water and we're the moon, darkness, and so our emotions, they flow deep. That's why we feel so deeply, but we can also heal so deeply. We can also love. And so we have to, as a collective, men and women, tap more into our feminine energy, because it's going to bring more balance to the planet. It's really going to heal the planet. It's going to propel us into the new earth, which is what we are creating up here. And from here is the new earth. People are awakening to our power, to our true divine nature, and we're choosing a better life and creating a better earth for ourselves, for everybody, for the planet. This is the rise of the divine feminine. Feminines are no longer going to be suppressed, and feminine energy is in men and women. And so men, tap into your feminine energy, embrace it, embrace your woman, honor her, respect her. And women, we don't have to be men. Like it is safe to be a woman, and we're coming together in unity, like both women and men, recognizing that we're all one race, which is human, and we need one another. God is in every single person experiencing life. And so when you judge someone else, you're judging yourself. If you hate somebody else, you're hating yourself. It's not about war, that's ego. It's not about hate, that's the old earth. But the new earth is us coming together in unity, in love, with respect. It's gonna create more harmony, more love. And, I really see so many just powerful men and women coming together and creating divine unions. And I really see it like sacred relationships resurfacing. I'm seeing it all the time, left and right, most recently, and it's very beautiful to see. You know, it represents just this new time that we're in, where we're shifting out of the old ways, which was like discord and hate and ego and war, gender wars, and we're moving into just more love, you know, just more peace, which is what we all deserve. So I encourage you just to tap more in with God, with spirit, with your soul, with your truest essence. It's more about like purity over perfection, because none of us are perfect. Like, we're in this earth school to learn about our own soul, to elevate, and we each have different roles to play. We're not all here for the same reason, but we can move towards a similar goal, which is like a happier state of being, a happier earth, a new earth, more harmonious for the planet, for us. And so I'm feeling lovey-dovey inside, which is a beautiful shift from earlier today when I was just very sad about what's been happening. As an empath, you can soak in the energies. Remember to cleanse your aura. Remember just to stay prayed up close to God and recognize that we are creating our reality. We have power, and let's help one another. More love. So that's it for today's video, you guys. I hope this could encourage you in some way. I hope that you are embracing the rise of the divine feminine, because it is happening. You don't want to be stuck in old ways of thinking. Embrace feminine energy within yourself, whether you're a man or a woman. Let's just come together, support one another with truth and with love. You know, it's going to take a lot of forgiveness and a lot of healing, but God is in us, so there's nothing we can't do. I'm sending you so much love and power on your journey. Please drop me a comment, like this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye.